Welcome to our discussion on the science of nootropics and pre-workout formulas. At Alpha Fitness, we focus on research-backed ingredients that support both body and mind. Today we'll explore how compounds like Alpha-GPC, L-Tyrosine, and Huperzine A can enhance focus, coordination, and mental resilience during training. We'll examine the differences between stimulants and nootropics, understand the neurotransmitters involved in performance, and learn how stacking ingredients can provide a smoother, more controlled energy. You'll also discover how to read labels to avoid underdosed formulas and ensure you're getting clinically relevant amounts. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear framework for evaluating pre-workout products and a better understanding of how cognitive support can elevate your physical performance. Let's begin by looking at why focus matters in training. Training isn't just about moving weights, it's about the nervous system driving intent, coordination, and effort. Better focus can improve technique consistency, speed up decision making, and help you manage perceived exertion so you can push harder without feeling overwhelmed. This is especially important under fatigue, stress, or when you're training early in the morning. Nootropics are designed to support cognitive performance in these conditions by preserving neurotransmitter levels and smoothing out stress responses. When your mind is sharp, you're more likely to maintain proper form, adjust strategy on the fly, and get the most out of each rep. Understanding why focus matters highlights why ingredients that support cognition deserve a place alongside those that support muscle output. Next, we'll explore the distinction between stimulants and nootropics. It's important to differentiate between stimulants and nootropics. Stimulants like caffeine primarily increase arousal. They make you feel awake and energized. Nootropics, on the other hand, target specific aspects of cognition such as attention, working memory, reaction time, learning, and mental clarity. They help you think and process information more effectively without necessarily raising your heart rate. Some ingredients like caffeine combined with L-theanine or alpha-GPC can act as both a stimulant and a nootropic depending on the context and dosage. Recognizing this distinction helps you build a pre-workout stack that optimizes both energy and focus. Up next, we'll look at the neurotransmitters that link brain function to performance. Focus during training depends on a trio of neurotransmitters. Acetylcholine is central to attention and learning. It helps you stay locked onto cues and absorb new movement patterns. Dopamine drives motivation and learning, making your brain more responsive to rewards and reinforcing good habits. Norepinephrine increases arousal and alertness, giving you that sense of readiness and urgency. An effective pre-workout combines signals that boost all three, balancing arousal with control. That's why many formulas use a mix of stimulant and nootropic ingredients to elevate your state without causing scattered energy or mental fatigue. Understanding this link sets us up to dive into the specific mechanisms nootropics use to support these neurotransmitter systems. Nootropics and pre-workouts typically work through four pathways. First, choline donors like Alpha-GPC and Citicoline increase acetylcholine availability, directly supporting attention and neuromuscular coordination. Second, acetylcholinesterase inhibitors such as Huperzine A slow the breakdown of acetylcholine, prolonging its action at synapses. Third, catecholamine precursors like L-Tyrosine provide raw material for dopamine and norepinephrine synthesis, which is especially useful under stress when these neurotransmitters become depleted. Fourth, stimulant synergy pairs moderate caffeine with calming compounds like theanine to enhance alertness while smoothing jittery edges. Each mechanism addresses a different piece of the cognitive puzzle, and stacking them thoughtfully can create a balanced, effective focus stack. Our next slides spotlight key ingredients that illustrate these mechanisms. L-tyrosine is an amino acid that serves as a precursor to dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, under conditions like sleep deprivation, cold exposure, or mentally demanding tasks. These catecholamines are quickly depleted, leading to mental fatigue and slower reaction times. Supplementing with L-tyrosine can help preserve cognitive performance by providing the raw materials neurons need to synthesize these neurotransmitters. Most studies base dosing on body weight, which often translates to 1 to 2 grams for an average person. Unfortunately, many pre-workouts include far less than this, which may limit the benefits. When used at clinically relevant doses, L-tyrosine can help sustain focus and mental resilience during high-stress sessions. Next, we'll highlight another choline-based ingredient, Alpha-GPC. Alpha-GPC is a bioavailable choline compound that supports acetylcholine synthesis, thereby enhancing attention and neuromuscular signaling. For example, an acute study involving 200 to 400 milligrams of alpha-GPC compared to caffeine or placebo assessed mood, cognitive function, and power outputs. The results were mixed. Some participants experienced improvements while others saw little change. These variable outcomes suggest that dosing, timing, and individual differences play a significant role in whether alpha-GPC provides measurable benefits. When included at the right level, it can contribute to sustained mental clarity without the peaks and crashes associated with stimulants. Understanding these nuances helps you evaluate labels and choose products that align with research. Our next spotlight focuses on citicoline, another choline donor. Citicoline, also known as CDP-Choline, is a compound that functions both as a choline donor and a phospholipid supporter. It has been studied for its effects on attention, vigilance, and mental energy. In cognitive research, citicoline is often administered in doses between 250 and 500 milligrams per day, though the optimal amount can vary depending on context and individual needs. Unlike more stimulating ingredients, citicoline tends to provide a clean focus without making you feel overly energized or jittery, making it a good choice for those who want mental clarity without pushing arousal too high. Its ability to support cell membranes and increase acetylcholine availability makes it a versatile addition to nootropic stacks. Following this, we'll look at Huperzine A, which works on a different part of the acetylcholine pathway. Huperzine A is a natural compound extracted from Chinese club moss. Its primary function is to inhibit acetylcholinesterase, the enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine. This inhibition keeps acetylcholine active longer, supporting focus and neuromuscular control. Much of the research on Huperzine A comes from Alzheimer's and dementia contexts, but it's been adopted in sports and pre-workouts as a focus enhancer. One important consideration is its long half-life. Because Huperzine A effects persist for many hours, stacking high doses or taking it too often can lead to excessive acetylcholine activity and potential side effects. If you include Huperzine A in your routine, it's wise to start at the lower end of the effective range and monitor how you feel. Next, we'll discuss how caffeine fits into this puzzle. Caffeine is one of the most reliable performance enhancers, improving alertness, reaction time, and endurance. However, high doses can cause jitters, anxiety, and a crash that undermines your focus. Pairing caffeine with supportive nootropics aims to amplify the positives and reduce the negatives. For example, using moderate caffeine alongside Alpha-GPC, L-Tyrosine, or Huperzine A helps maintain neurotransmitter balance while still providing energy. This synergy keeps your focus locked in without letting stimulation run wild. By thoughtfully stocking ingredients, you can personalize your pre-workout to deliver clean energy and mental clarity that lasts through your entire training session. In the next slide, we'll see how combining caffeine with L-theanine specifically can further smooth out your experience. Some people choose to stack caffeine with L-theanine, an amino acid found in green tea. Human trials suggest that this combination can improve aspects of attention, accuracy, and subjective alertness compared to caffeine alone. The L-theanine counters some of caffeine's stimulatory side effects, providing a calmer yet still alert state. Many people find this combo produces smoother energy, fewer jitters, and a more stable focus. It's often used when you need to remain calm and precise, such as during skill practice or tasks that require steady hands and concentration. Not everyone will need L-theanine, but if you find yourself sensitive to caffeine's harsh edges, adding it to your stack may be beneficial. Next, we'll discuss why stacking complementary mechanisms matters, beyond just combining random ingredients. Stacking isn't about throwing a bunch of ingredients into a formula. It's about selecting complementary mechanisms that work together. For example, pairing a choline donor like Alpha-GPC with an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor like Huperzine A supports acetylcholine from both ends, synthesis and preservation. Similarly, combining a stimulant such as caffeine with a calming modulator like L-theanine balances arousal with focus. When you design a stack with mechanisms that synergize rather than overlap, you can use smaller doses of each ingredient and still achieve a powerful effect. The goal isn't to maximize the number of compounds, it's to target different pathways effectively and safely. Up next, we'll look at a common issue, underdosing, and how to avoid it. One of the biggest problems in the pre-workout market is underdosing. Many focus blends hide their ingredient amounts behind proprietary labels or provide non-clinical quantities that have little chance of making an impact. Active yield is key. When you see an ingredient like Alpha-GPC 50%, remember that only half of that amount is active choline. If a formula doesn't match the ranges used in human studies, it's unlikely to deliver the promised benefits. Always compare labeled doses to the amounts tested in research and be wary of brands that don't disclose exact quantities. This due diligence helps you avoid wasting money on fancy marketing and ensures you're actually getting what you need. Next, we'll explore the difference between fake focus and real focus. Support. Not all sensations equate to improved focus. Beta-alanine tingles, sweet flavors, and intense stimulant rushes may feel like something is happening, but they don't necessarily translate into better cognitive performance. Real focus support is about improving attention control, reducing mental noise, and enhancing decision making. It's less about how you feel, and more about how effectively your brain is processing information. When evaluating a pre workout, look past the flashy marketing and ask whether the ingredients are truly targeting cognitive pathways. Understanding this difference helps you invest in products that actually improve performance rather than just making you feel stimulated. Next, we'll discuss what to look for on labels to find those kinds of products. A savvy consumer should know what to look for on supplement labels. Start with transparent dosing. Avoid proprietary blends that hide ingredient amounts. Check that the doses fall within clinically effective ranges, or that the brand provides a clear rationale for lower or higher amounts. Pay attention to ingredient forms and yields. For example, 50% alpha-GPC means half of the mass is inactive. Also check the total caffeine content to avoid accidentally consuming too much from multiple sources. A well-designed pre-workout will disclose all of this information and make it easy for you to evaluate. Armed with this knowledge, you can choose products that align with your goals and safety needs. Next, we'll look more closely at caffeine dosing guidelines. Caffeine has well-documented performance benefits, but dose matters. In sports contexts, performance improvements are often cited around 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. Exceeding that range can increase gastrointestinal upset, anxiety, and cardiovascular side effects, especially in sensitive individuals. When considering your pre-workout, look at total daily caffeine intake, including coffee, energy drinks, and other sources. Keeping within a moderate range helps you reap the benefits without risking adverse effects. Always listen to your body. If you experience unwanted symptoms, it may be wise to reduce your intake or adjust timing. Safety and effectiveness go hand in hand, which is why we emphasize thoughtful dosing. Next, we'll touch on quality control and third-party testing for supplements. Unlike pharmaceuticals, dietary supplements are not pre-approved by the FDA before hitting the market. This means quality can vary significantly between products. Third-party certification programs like NSF and USP test supplements for contamination, potency, and labeling accuracy. For athletes subject to drug testing, certifications reduce the risk of inadvertently consuming banned substances. Even if you're not a competitor, choosing certified products helps ensure you're getting what you pay for. Being mindful of quality control protects your health and enhances trust in your supplementation strategy. In the following slide, we'll discuss practical approaches to tolerance and cycling. It's tempting to reach for a high dose of caffeine or multiple nootropics every time you train, but more isn't always better. Start with a low dose and assess your response. Avoid increasing caffeine just to feel something. This can lead to dependence and diminishing returns. Use nootropics strategically. Reserve them for early sessions, skill-based work, or periods when mental fatigue is high. Remember, sleep and nutrition still dominate cognitive performance and recovery. By cycling and modulating your intake, you keep your sensitivity to these compounds high and minimize side effects. Next, we'll consider who benefits most from targeted nootropic pre-workouts. Not every athlete needs a nootropic pre-workout, but certain groups can benefit greatly. Early morning lifters who need to activate quickly, long shift workers who train after exhausting days, and individuals performing high-skill training blocks may experience improved focus and consistency. Strength athletes who rely on precision and intent during heavy lifts can use cognitive support to keep their mind engaged and their technique on point. And of course, anyone seeking focus without feeling cracked out by stimulants may find a balanced stack appealing. Recognizing if you fit into these categories helps you decide whether adding nootropics to your routine makes sense. Our next slide will summarize the key takeaways from this presentation. Let's recap the key points. Nootropics are about enhancing cognition, not just delivering stimulation. The most effective focus stacks target acetylcholine through choline donors and acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, support catecholamines with precursors like L-Tyrosine, and use controlled arousal via moderate stimulants. Transparency in labeling and clinically relevant dosing should guide your purchasing decisions. Safety, quality control, and personal tolerance are paramount. By understanding these principles, you can select pre-workout formulas that enhance both mental and physical performance without unnecessary risks. As we wrap up, I'll direct you to the references that inform these recommendations.